Alright guys, so I'm gonna so in lesson 1 we will learn about driving attitude, insurance, consequences of traffic accidents, and seat belt, airbag and child seat. Okay, by the end of the first lesson, the learner will be accurately able to define the difference between positive and negative driving attitude, the responsibility of a driver, the consequences of traffic accident, and insurance policies. So let's talk about attitude in driving. Attitude represents our value and belief about situation based on our past experience. There are three main components in driving attitude. The first one is thinking, the second is belief based on our thinking, and the final is action according to our belief. The attitude we can divide into two kind of attitude. One is negative attitude and another one is positive driving attitude. So now let's talk about negative driving attitude. So usually people with negative driving attitude think and believe that they can handle any critical situation if arise. One of the concepts in their mind is that accident happens to others, and they are usually overconfident and drive dangerously, risking their life as well as others' life on the road. They are the one who always try to drive fast, do tailgate, overtake dangerously, jump the traffic red lights, or show no courtesies to other and not respecting the rule and regulation. Whereas positive driving attitude, on the other hand, people with positive driving attitude think and believe that speeding, overtaking dangerously, or jumping the red light, traffic light, or any unsafe action can lead to a crash. They want to avoid any accident or fine. That's why they are good drivers. They use the vehicle as a mode of transportation in a safe manner. These theory lessons are designed for you to gain knowledge and awareness to drive safely and avoid any crash, even if you pass the driving test and drive solo. So let's talk about dangerous and unacceptable driving behavior. The way we drive speaks volume of our behavior and thinking. When driving, some behavior are dangerous and unacceptable. Driving too fast to the situation, tailgating or driving too close to the car in front, flashing headlight or honking the horn to intimidate other driver, cutting in front of other driver or jumping the queue, not signaling lane change. These are all examples of dangerous and unacceptable driving behavior. Now the other example could be driving too slow in fast lane or ignoring priority rules. Keep in mind Dubai, especially the RTA, is very particular about obeying the rule. The way driving is more of obeying the rules rather than driving. Using a mobile phone while driving is a criminal offense. Plus, never ever drive when you are under the influence of alcohol or drugs. There is zero tolerance for alcohol or drunken drive in Dubai. If you get caught, you are straight away behind the bar. Many dangerous traffic violations, such as waiting the red light, tailgating, overspeeding, weaving in and out of traffic without indication, are not result of bad driving skills, but they are due to the bad attitude of the driver. Let's see in this video. The driver is going or crossing the red light signal. That's the example of tailgating or driving too close to the car in front. Now, this can even cause the driver who's in front of you to change the line or take a wrong decision, which can cause even an accident. Or in case if you put an emergency brake, there are chances of crashing. Let's see the example of over speeding. See, this can cause an accident. That's example of weaving in or out of the traffic without no reason and without giving any signal. Again, this is very dangerous and can cause accident in the road. That's a very dangerous overtaking, which can cause a crash for the other car as well. So remember, when accident occurs, it will end up with one of the below. It can cause death, injury, or permanent disabilities, and even the property damage. In case of your death, your family lose good life standard, children education, and good future, and they will suffer emotionally for a long time. If you are a young man, your parents will suffer emotionally, and their dreams of you will destroy. In case of serious injury or disabilities, you can never be active as you were in healthy life. Last but not the least, you can damage your vehicle in case of property damage. So let's do a quick recap what we have learned so far. The first question is, most traffic violation like beating the red light is usually caused by bad attitude of the driver, lack of the driving skills of the driver, or other bad driver. If your answer is bad attitude, then that's the right answer. Okay, let's see if you can answer this. What can be the biggest loss in the accident? Of course, life. Traffic accident can result disabilities and you become dependent on others. So this question will come in your final assessment as well. This is just to check, cross-check your knowledge if you're learning the things. So now let's talk about the role model driving behaviors or the good driving behaviors. So first thing is drive within the speed limit of the road. Driving at a safe distance from the vehicle in front. At least you need to keep 2-second gap between the vehicle which is next to you. Allow extra travel time. Plan your travels in advance. Focus on your driving. Avoid using phone while driving or any other activity. Use the indicator properly when changing lane or changing direction. It allows you to communicate with the other driver on the road. Always allow for the mistake of other. Always anticipate for the unexpected while you're driving and react appropriately. Always try to drive in slow lane whenever possible and only change to the fast lane if you want to overtake. Plan your journey in advance. This will make your journey safer and more pleasant. Drive at your best condition. Avoid driving when you're tired or under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Show consideration to other road users by respecting the priority rules. Following scenario are the example of role model driving behavior. Driving within the speed limit. You can see the speed here. You need to drive within the speed limit. So if the road says 80, make sure you drive at the speed of 80. So these are the speed limit which you'll find in Dubai's road. Now this speed limit would vary if the weather condition is not supportive, or in case if you have a huge traffic jam. Always give way to the pedestrian, and if you see any school bus, you need to stop and give way to the children. Maintain the speed as per the road guidelines. You need to understand the faster you are, more distance you need to stop the car. So you need to keep the appropriate distance between the cars. So let's talk about what is the appropriate safe distance. So basically you should have at least 2-second distance from the car in front of you, and the distance should be increased if the road conditions are poor. If you see it's raining or it's too foggy, you need to keep more distance. If the visibility is low, or if there is a sandstorm, you need to increase the distance. And always expect unexpected, which means you need to consider that other people can make a mistake. So even if you have a priority on a cross junction, you need to always look around and accept the unexpected. Always check for the blind spots when you're driving on a highway. So let's do a quick review of what we have learned so far. The first question is driving in a safe manner can be done by, let's say, all driver. If they decide to do so, it's individual choice. Allowing extra travel time will enable enjoying the route is one of the good driving practice. Make your journey safe and more pleasant by planning journey in advance. That's what we have learned. Next topic in today's session is vehicle insurance. Having car insurance is a legal requirement in Dubai, and with the right level of cover, it can provide financial protection in the event of vehicle being damaged. It will also provide cover for injuries to other driver, passenger, or pedestrian and their property. There are mainly two types of insurance. One is comprehensive insurance, which cover the driver and the other car in case of accident, and the third party insurance, which only cover the other car and passenger in case of an accident. With third party coverage, the policyholder must pay for the damage to their own vehicle if they cause an accident. Remember that insurance will cover you and the damage in case of an accident if you fulfill the legal requirement. So when we say legal requirement, the few examples are like if you modify the body or engine of the vehicle, you may not get the insurance. In UAE, any kind of modification of vehicle require a prior permission from the government. Driving under the influence of alcohol. UAE driver driving under the influence of alcohol is prohibited, and insurance does not cover any damage or injury. And moreover, you can even get jailed for that. Driving a category of vehicle for which you are not permitted. For example, if you have a vehicle for automatic light motor vehicle and you're driving some heavy vehicle or vehicle with a gear, will not be covered in the insurance. Okay, let's talk about seatbelt safety. Wearing a seatbelt helps to keep you safe in case of crash when it is worn correctly. The seat belts are designed to be worn on bony structure of the body and should be worn across front of the chest and shoulder. The seat belt must be firmly adjusted, must not be twisted, and must not restrain one occupant. And remember, all driver as well as all passenger, even if they're sitting on the back seat, should wear the seat belt in Dubai. So let's talk about why we need the seat belt. First of all, seat belt hold you securely in place. If you are a driver, this helps you control the car in case of a crash situation. And it is important to put your seat belt on as soon as you are seated in the vehicle and wear it all the time, even if you're driving it for a very short period. Seat belt protect everyone in the vehicle. If a seat belt is not worn in a collision, the vehicle may come to a sudden stop, but the people inside the vehicle will continue to move within the cabin at the original speed of the car, which can cause serious injury to the people. It is important to realize that airbags do not take the place of seat belt. With an airbag, you can still be thrown out of the car. Sorry. So always wear your seat belt correctly. Car seats are designed to absorb some crash force and spread remaining crash force over a large area of the body. The infant's body, especially the neck area, is not strong enough to withstand the crash force when seat is facing forward. Rear-facing car seat distribute the crash forces along the entire back, neck and head, putting less stress and trauma on any one part of the body. Rear-facing car seat should never be placed on the front passenger seat as deploying airbag can result to fatal injury to the infant. So if you have a small kids, always keep the seat in the back seat, not in the front seat. So 4 key safety point for the car seat is restrain your child on every trip, every time. Keep your child in the back seat. Use the best safety restraint for your child size. Use the child safety seat and belt correctly. So let's see the example of airbag protect you can when you can face the dangerous situation. So if you don't have the airbag, your head can even bang into the glass. But if you have airbag, it will protect you from that. See, in this scenario, because the car had airbag, the driver was saved from banging the head onto the mirror. Another thing is if you're wearing the seatbelt, it protect you from getting evacuated from the car. Okay, so let's go to the final test for the lesson number 1. 70% of total question must be answered correctly before proceeding to the next lesson. So what I'm showing you is the real theory test. So I have already done it. It's just to show you the first question. Let's do it together. When driving, avoid this kind of behavior. Maintaining safe gap. Driving too close to the vehicle in front. For me, I think that's the correct answer. Keeping Okay, flashing headlight to intimidate others shows that you are a good driver. Increase risk of crash, increase your confidence. I would say it increase the risk of the crash. The third question is not signaling when lane change causes tension to other driver because indicators are used to communicate between the cars. Driving slowly and the fast lane will force the traffic to slow down, create a safe zone on the road, cause other driver to pass on the right side. Okay, I would say it will force the traffic to slow down because you are driving on the fast lane. Driving that cause tension on on the road are danger on the road are unacceptable driving behavior. Easy. Driving slowly on the fast lane is equally dangerous as overspeeding. That's correct. You should not drive too slow in the fast lane. Fast lane is only for the overtaking. Driving on the safe side and avoid talking on mobile with phone while parking. Jumping the queue just to get a few meters ahead. Signaling while lane changing. It says jumping the queue just to get a few meters ahead. The right answer. Ignoring priority rule is when drivers are entering the main road carefully. Give way. Not stopping at the stop sign. So that's the correct answer. The best way to deal with driver signaling to turn is to give way and allow them to turn. Driving too fast for the situation is unacceptable driving behavior. So let's see what our scores comes. There were 10 questions, and okay, we have answered one wrong. So our total score is 90.